Alright guys, it's Shalom with the Paradox Gaming Network, and today we're going to talk a little Ashes of Creation. We're going to talk about the new information we got on bounty hunters, and the specific mechanics of how bounty hunters and the corrupted engage with each other, and how this changes the standard corruption and PvP flagging mechanics. Now I'm doing this one today because we got a lot of people coming over due to Summit's Twitch stream and Asmongold's Twitch stream, so I want to welcome you guys. And unfortunately, since we don't have any in-game footage of this, I am going to have to go with the old reliable PowerPoint. And I know it's painful, but we can't really have a good discussion of this unless we cover a few things. The first thing we're going to talk about is the standard corruption flagging. Now, thanks to the people over at the community wiki, we have this nice chart that breaks down how flagging works. If you want a little bit more detail, up there in the upper right-hand corner, I have an entire video done on corruption, and then in the description below I have a link to the Ashes 101 page on corruption. Now this is where I need to do a stop and a timeout. If you don't understand corruption, pause the video, get smart on corruption, because we're going to be talking about the exceptions to these rules. And what happens here is bounty hunters have special rules. Bounty hunters can activate a pathfinding ability that allows them to track the corrupted on their map. Once a bounty hunter flags up to hunt corrupted, they remain a combatant for an hour. Now you'll notice I underlined combatant, I didn't make it purple, because this only applies to the corrupted. So this is why you need to understand the original rule set before you can really deal with the bounty hunters. Because what's going to happen here is you're going to bring up your standard non-combatant and your combatant flag states, and your corrupted flag state, and we're used to green, purple, and red. The problem is that when we start talking about bounty hunters, they're going to come up in this gradient color. They're green on one side, they're purple on the other. The reason why is they are now a fourth flagged state that has special conditions. So versus a non-combatant, you will see that you have a mutual green arrow. Non-combatants don't attack each other, so their statuses really don't apply. When it comes to engaging with combatants, this is a one-way arrow, because a combatant can attack a bounty hunter, but the bounty hunter is treated as a non-combatant for corruption determination versus a normal combatant, and that's why they're green on their side of the circle. Where a bounty hunter is flagged for legal combat is only versus the corrupted. A bounty hunter with their toggle on is a valid target for all corrupted. They can attack each other at will, and the corrupted do not gain additional corruption for killing bounty hunters. When we jump into that, these are special rules specifically for the corrupted, and this is where a lot of people had some issues. Corrupted do not suffer reduced combat penalties versus the bounty hunters, so their combat proficiency is not reduced. It still is reduced when they're attacking non-combatants and they're attacking normal combatants, but in that state where they're attacking a flagged bounty hunter, their combat proficiency is not reduced. I'll say it again, corrupted do not gain additional corruption from killing bounty hunters. A lot of people were concerned about that. They thought it was unfair the bounty hunter can attack them. If they defend themselves, the corrupted person has to choose between dying or getting more corruption. So this should alleviate a lot of people's concerns. Also, this essentially creates one of those quasi-faction wars Steven talked about in those interviews over the weekend. Now, I do want you guys to note that Steven has talked about he will make this a permanent flag state so that bounty hunters will always have their pathfinding on and that corrupted will always be able to attack without penalty. What I need you to do is, when this is in testing, you got to give lots of feedback. You got to give both the good and the bad so Intrepid can make informed decisions based on what the community wants. With that said, becoming a bounty hunter, we don't have all the details. Right now it's a quest in stage 4 military nodes, and we believe it's only open to citizens. However, Steven talked about he may open this up, so any citizen of a node allied with a stage 4 or higher military node, their citizens would be able to get the bounty hunter title. Also, any citizens of a node that is a vassal of a military node might be able to get the bounty hunter title as well. With that said, there are some benefits to being a bounty hunter. The big one is you get to kill the bad guys. You get to basically spank corrupted players who are out there murdering lobies or ganking. You get to go and, get a little righteous justice. Probably some more systems down the road. Probably those augments or enchants Stephen was talking about in the tied to those 6-month PvP seasons. We don't have any specific sound bites on that, so I say probably. Sometimes when I throw a probably out there, Stephen sees it and he gets back to me. So we're throwing out the bait, see if we can get a bite. And then I know people are going to ask about the player bounties on people. There's no details on that yet, and I'm going to be honest, guys, not sure 100% that that's a thing yet. A lot of times, somebody starts a rumor and it gets running, and then even if there are player bounties on other players, it's not part of this system, so I didn't feel it was important enough to wait. Let's just get this video out there. And with that said, guys, I do want to once again welcome everyone that's joining the Ashes of Creation community, everyone from Summit, everyone that saw Lazy Peon's video, everyone that was on Asmongold's stream. Welcome to the community. I'm the Ashes 101 guy. If you need any information about Ashes of Creation, you can check out Ashes 101. It's written kind of like a textbook, and the videos are lecture series. If you're brand new to Ashes of Creation, I invite you to stop what you're doing and make your account. If you want to help me out, use the referral code in the bottom. Helps me pay for stuff like the web hosting, and then I'm going to be doing giveaways for game time once the game goes live. And as always, guys, leave me your comments, your questions, your complaints, your concerns. I tend to roll all those up and I give them back to Intrepid. So if you've got concerns about this system or concerns about any system, leave them to me as a comment. I'll get them passed over to Intrepid and I'll try to get you answers. Until then, you stay safe during this COVID times, and I will see you next time for our next video. What are you still doing here? Nobody ever stays this long. This is the end screen. Well, since you're here, there's a couple other videos I think you should check out. And all those names, those are my patrons over at Patreon. I couldn't do this without them. So, big thanks to them for all their support.